All right, we're going to get started with Matthew Mayer. If you have a question for Matthew, please use the raise hand function and I'll call on you individually. First up, John Werner with the Waco Tribune Herald.
Matt, Big 12 champs. How does that feel?
Feels pretty awesome. I mean, I've been here, this is my third year, and Lamar's been here for, I think, 5 years, and Coach Drew's been here for 18, and Coach Tang. So, you know, as happy as I am, I'm just happy for those guys.
Can you just talk about the toughness, the poise you guys showed, you know, to win this game, to fight through everything?
Yeah, I mean, that just shows who we are as a team. You know, people, it seems like people started to write us off a little bit since the Iowa State and Kansas games, but I mean, we still got a lot of fight in us, and you know, people. I mean, we came off a 21-day quarantine, but we're still some dogs, so we're not too worried about it.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Next question from Dennis Dodd with CBS.
Hey, Matt, congratulations. Can you just describe what the last 3 weeks have been like? Did you wonder how you guys would play coming out of this?
Yeah, it took a little bit for us to get into it, and you know, practices were a little slow, guys were a little bit out of shape, but I think the main thing was we didn't have as much confidence as we should have. But you know, I was telling them, a lot of our guys, like, we got to start playing our game again, which is like shooting as many threes as possible. We were passing up a lot against Kansas, just trying to like force our way into the paint and turn it over. But I think we got our groove back a little bit because we've all talked about what we need to do.
What does it mean to, I guess, back up this season where you guys had such a magic season last year before everything got canceled, to back it up where you're basically right back where you guys were?
Yeah, I mean, it's special. It just shows you the kind of guys we have on our team, and our coaching staff is amazing. So, you know, everybody's a big part of it.
Okay.
Next question from Kendall Cott with Our Daily Bears.
I want to echo the congratulations. You had the ball that you were able to save kind of behind your shoulder, which led to the layup for the Bears. What went on in that sequence?
I think I just tipped it out, and I didn't know if any of my teammates were there, so I just threw it behind my head, and luckily it went to Davion. But yeah, it was just kind of a lucky play.
And you and Sean McNeil went back and forth, kind of scoring against each other for a while. What was it like kind of in that sequence when neither one of you seemed to be able to miss?
It's a lot of fun. He's a really good player. We scouted him a lot, and we still couldn't, you know, do too much when we started hitting some of those tough shots. But you know, that's the kind of moments, like, you know, as a basketball player you live for, honestly.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Next question from David Smoke with Sigum 365.
Matthew, with how everything was delayed and then the way you lost Saturday and then this game and then overtime, did it even like make it more special the way this thing ended to celebrate this way?
Yeah, because we didn't know we had it until the final buzzer, you know, and that was just like so much suspense, so much fight, you know. I mean, that like Mark got blocked going in. I think we were down, but I was telling Mark, I was like, hey, bro, it's not over. Like, don't worry about it. And then Jared came down and had a layup. So, I mean, it was super special, and it's a moment I'll never forget.
Can you kind of explain physically, do you feel like you have everything now back, the energy back? It seemed like you guys played with much more energy today. And when did you feel that come back?
I'd say yesterday, because we were all just talking about how we can get back to playing our game and what that meant to us. And it was really just like, it's just mentality. Like, we were all in decent shape by the time Iowa State and Kansas started. It just, we just had to encourage each other and just be like we had the weight of like being undefeated on us, and then we lost against Kansas, and now it's like a total reset. So, yeah.
Next question from Curtis Quill and KCEN TV in Waco.
I think back to last March, you guys go to West Virginia with a chance to compete for the Big 12 regular season title before falling short in that game. Does that make tonight maybe a little sweeter for you guys?
Yeah, we had like what we called a revenge tour, and it was Washington, West Virginia, and TCU. So we checked all three of those boxes, and it feels pretty good.
Next question from Matt Roberts of KWKT TV in Waco.
Yeah, on a little bit, but for this team to be able to do this, and it's one thing to talk about it, but to win a game like this in overtime where you're wondering, oh, are the legs going to hold up? How valuable is that from a confidence standpoint?
Like how? Can you say that again?
Just seeing that you guys have actually done it on the floor and you've seen yourself, it's one thing to talk about it, but to actually do it in the way that you did it, how much confidence does that build?
Oh yeah, I mean, for the rest of the season, we're gonna be playing really good teams, and it's just good to see that we got that kind of fight in us because we haven't had a game quite like that yet. Iowa State was close, but this was an away game, hostile crowd. So I think we proved a lot to ourselves.
Yeah, and you're going to be in a lot of these battles, Final Four type teams like you just did with West Virginia. How valuable, you guys have really steamrolled people early in the season, but how valuable is it to come back and play a tough game like that against a team like West Virginia?
It's great. It's just, like I said, it proved it to ourselves. And they're a really good team. And it feels great to, beat the number 6 team. So we're ecstatic.
Thanks.
Final question for Matthew comes from Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated.
Yeah, Matt, with about 4:06 left in the second half, Jared threw you an alley-oop to tie the game at 69. I was wondering if you could take me through that play, what you were seeing there.
Yeah, I was in the corner and Jared was driving and my man was up a little bit. So, and I wanted there to be more space on the 3-point line. So I kind of went to the short corner and Jared, he found me. He's a great passer. So yeah, shout out Jared again.
And then what was this game like where it's just going back and forth and everybody's making shot after shot after shot, late half and overtime?
It's stressful, but this is the kind of stuff we love. Like, you don't get to this level without loving that kind of competition. So it's it's a lot of fun and it just makes the win that much more special.
Sure. Thanks. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we have for Matthew. Everybody hang tight. We'll get Coach Drew and Jared Butler up here as well. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
I could not watch that game.
Hey, okay. All right. We got Jared Butler next up. If you have a question for Jared, please use the raise hand function. I'll call on you individually. First up, John Werner with the Waco Tribune Herald.
Congrats, Jared. What does this mean to you and the team to win the Big 12 title?
It means a lot, especially for Coach Drew and Coach Tang. all the guys that passed through Baylor, Tweety Carter, Rico Gathers, just guys like that. It just means a lot to the program. It just means a lot to me just to do it with these guys. They're such great guys. And just probably the top #1 moment ever at Baylor, past all the games, all that.
And what was the difference tonight? Y'all seemed to play with a whole lot more energy tonight, just played a lot more efficiently. How did you guys feel out there?
It was a grinder, I'm not gonna lie. We still kind of rusty a little bit. We're still kind of out of shape a little bit, especially for me. But like we just fought through, we knew it was gonna be a tough one. We knew West Virginia was gonna give us their best shot. And Matt did a great job, Davion did a great job, Flo, Basio, Mark Votto, everybody did a great job, so yeah.
Thanks, Jared.
Next question from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
Jared, how difficult was that to go out with 1:15 left and knowing that it was kind of out of your hands at that point?
Yeah, it was extremely difficult. It was like I just couldn't watch the game. Like, winning the 12 was so important to us. I said I couldn't watch the game. I was in the tunnel. I was praying with Coach Charlie, just praying that, if it's his will, let it be, And my teammates picked me up and they handled the business. It was great. It was great.
And how big was Davion in that last stretch there? I mean, with the big drive layup.
I don't even know. I just know he made some free throws. I just know he came through. Like, that's all I know. That's all I saw. But he's a great player. Big time player. All that.
Next question from Dennis Dodd with CBS.
Hey, Jared, congratulations. I wonder if you could recall what it was like, having the season end abruptly almost, a year ago today, and then what that was like. And at any time, did you say, man, the sweat and the tears and the work it's going to take just to get back to that point?
Yeah, I didn't realize it until probably tonight. I was like, man, that pause really killed us. Like, when everything broke out, I was just like, okay, we got to, some time off. We'll get back right. And it just wasn't the case. Like you lose some in-game shape, you lose just the feel for the game. So I'm not looking back on it, it did hurt us. But like at the time, I didn't really think it was gonna hurt us. But we were playing our best basketball, and it's just up to us to overcome it.
Next question from David Smoke with 7365.
Jared, can you try to describe the differences in the emotions of your face at the end of that Kansas game and then your face as you went racing down courtside to hug your teammates?
Oh, man. My parents told me the other day, they were like, you look defeated. Like, you look like you lost your whole family after the Kansas game. And, it's up and down basketball. That's what basketball does to you. It's so important to us, important to me. It's night and day.
Does it also explain that with you not on the floor, that this is the depth of the team, that they were still able to overcome that? And how much does that say about the toughness and guts of this team? Yeah, I've been saying it all season. We can't win unless we got all 14 guys. We can't win unless all guys are locked in, contributing. It takes all of us to win. And you saw that tonight. You're gonna see it again. You're gonna see it down the road. That's what it is.
Next question from Kendall Cowell.
Kendall, what's up, my guy?
Jared, man, I'm really, really happy for you right now. Want to go through two sequences real quickly with you, or take your time. You just won the Big 12. Your time, however you want. But before halftime, you hit that three, which ends up mattering a lot since you forced overtime. Kind of what was the sequence and play there for that inbound play?
The inbound play? Wait, I'm sorry. Coach, you was talking one more time.
Before halftime, you hit that three.
Oh, yeah.
Inbound play you all were looking at there.
Yeah. We ran a specific play, just like a curl kind of screen-to-screener action. And they kind of read it well, and I just popped to the corner. And I was like, Davion got to me, and I knew they were locked on the person that was coming off the screen, so I just slipped, and I got it off in time, so that's it. And then as regulation ended, you went to the hoop, got that layup and made it. Was your thought, I'm going to hit this layup, or were you looking to pass, or kind of what's going on in that sequence? We ran like a slip ball screen or like a ball screen, and I saw the lane, and I was just like, is he trying to take a charge? Is he in the charge circle? And he was in the charge circle, so I was like, I'm going to just jump as high as I can, take the contact, and just finish the layup. That's my thought process.
Excellent. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah. See you, Kendall.
Next question from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco.
Yeah, Jared, for you guys to not only win this game, but win it in overtime, what kind of confidence does that give you that, you know, your legs are back with you, back under you, and you guys are ready to really go on a run now?
it just changes the whole mood of the program. You know, after a loss, after you haven't lost in like a year, when you lose, it's just like a stormy cloud over your head. Everywhere you go, everything is just not the same. And this win and what we accomplished at Baylor is going to change the whole mood of the program. And that's what it does for us, and it gives us our confidence back, like you said.
Yeah, and you guys really kind of were a buzzsaw early in the year, kind of steamrolling teams, making it look easy. But down the stretch here, playing Final Four NCAA tournament caliber teams, how much can that help y'all as you do go into the tournament?
Yeah, I think it's good for us to go through some rubber and some friction and get battle tested. You know, it's gonna help us down. We're gonna see who we really are. We're gonna see who we really are when we get tested and punched in the mouth, and that's what the NCAA tournament is. So, you know, I'm glad we're going through this.
Thanks, Jared. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Got time for one more question for Jared, and then we'll get Coach Drew up here. Curtis Quillen with KCN TV in Waco.
Jared, congratulations. You guys were so close to doing this a year ago when you went into that same arena. What's different this season for you guys that you were able to get it done?
What's the difference? We got not the same group of guys, but majority the same group of guys. I think the difference is that like I think last year us winning the Big 12 was like maybe we can, but I think this year it was like, you know, there's no doubt if we don't win the Big 12, it's a bust. And I think that was the difference of the mentality. And yeah.
Thanks, Jared.
All right. Thanks for your time, Jared.
Yep.
Everybody
See
hang
y'all.
tight. We'll get Coach Drew up here. Woo! I was all celebrating. I could not. I ran.
Oh,
All right. Coach Drew is going to start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
They're still celebrating in the background. You know, our last title was 1950. We've had a lot of great players that have helped work toward this. We finished second several times, and everyone's contributed with the fans and staff and players to get to this point. But couldn't be more proud of our players really persevering down the stretch. And again, coming off a 21-day pause is something that there's no past history recipe, things that tell you how to do things because every situation is different. I just know from most coaches, and I didn't tell our players this, but most coaches I talked to that were similar situations as us said it takes 4 games to get your guys back. And the last 3 games, we got 2 wins and 1 loss, and we played great teams. So it speaks to their heart and their toughness, and I couldn't be more proud of them. I was really proud of one thing, and that is after we had our prayer, I was able to beat them in the locker room, get the water ready, and get them. And I got the cold water ready for them too.
First question for Coach Drew comes from John Warner with the Waco Tribune Journal.
Congrats, Scott.
Thanks, John.
What did you see a noticeable difference in the energy tonight than the Kansas game?
Well, I thought Kansas, we played hard, really competed, but our strength coach and our coaches in warmups, they always give me a read, and they said we had more bounce, more pop today. Obviously Kansas, we had more bounce and more pop than Iowa State. So we're getting better, and we're doing it in a short period of time because normally you're playing 4 games over 2 weeks and get practice days.
And y'all probably had to fight through more this year than probably any other season. What does it mean? What does it mean to the program?
Well, I think first, hats off to all the college coaches out there that have worked so hard to get games for their players. Hats off to the players that have sacrificed so much, and then the universities that have spent money for testing and keeping our players safe, and the medical people. So I can tell you they work awful hard, and their goal all life is to be in these situations. And we don't take playing games for granted anymore. That's for sure.
Thanks, Scott.
This question from Chuck Carlton with the Dallas Morning News.
Chuck, you still got a swimming pool in your house? Or you good now?
clearing it out. But yeah, I did a few laps before the plumbers got here.
Okay.
Congratulations. Just reflect, if you could, on when you came to Baylor. I mean, Fran Fischel on the broadcast thought you were making a mistake when you left Valpo to come to Baylor with everything going on, and the progress kind of getting to this point with everything that had to be done.
Well, I can tell you that prayed about it, felt led to come here. And I know all our coaches for all the years, all the time that they spent away from their families pouring into this program, all the coaches that believe that we could get to a point where we're a national program and you get 23 straight Big 12 wins and 25 weeks ranked in the top 5. And that's what they worked toward, even when we didn't necessarily have the talent in the beginning or the experience to compete. And hats off and congrats to all them. And this is for all the fans that came to games when we were 35, 40 point underdogs and having walk-on starting. So everyone can celebrate and enjoy.
And a quick follow on the broadcast, Fran said that, and I know he's very well connected, but said that you had 8 positives during that layoff among players. Is that an accurate thing? And was that a special challenge?
Well, I can't comment on it, but I can tell you that because of HIPAA, but I can tell you the pause that we had, it was the toughest one you can come back from.
Next question from Dennis Dodd with CBS.
Hey, Scott, congratulations.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah. I wonder what you told the team or what the setting was last year when the season was canceled. And in the back of your mind as a coach, as a competitor, that season's just laying there. You know, you couldn't do anything with it. Did you ever wonder, can we get back to where we were? You knew you were good, but that's a lot of work and a lot of sweat and tears.
Well, first it starts with your players. And at that point we had several testing the water. And if they didn't come back, obviously that changes your experience and talent level. And then when everyone decided to come back, this is one of the reasons they wanted to come back. We'd started off 11-0 and I made a mistake because normally you win conference if you get 3 losses, maybe 4 losses, and Kansas had 1 last year. So I told them this year we got to be ready to go undefeated if we want to win a conference championship.
Were you in the locker room at T-Mobile, what it is, or Sprint last year when you got the news, or where were you?
We were in the hotel,
Okay.
and we were preparing to come over for a shoot around when they canceled the Big 12 tournament, and then right away I was on the phone with other coaches, seeing any alternatives, what they're hearing. And then right after that, we found out in the hotel through social media that the NCAA tournament had been canceled. And then we brought all our guys down. And I mean, it's always sad the last time you're with a group.
Yeah.
One of our walk-ons, Obim, said right away, "Hey, coach, we're not going to be sad. We're going to celebrate all the success we had. 23 wins in a row, being ranked number 1 for how many weeks, and everything that was great about the season." And I think that really changed the mood.
Great. Congrats.
Thank you.
Next question from David Smoke with 6365.
Scott, what do you say now to the Matt Samons and the former players of the world about today?
Well, this is what they work for. This is what they put in that time and energy for. And without them, we wouldn't be here. So we thank them for believing in us. And again, it's been 1950 since we've had a conference championship. So I know Baylor fans were excited and waiting for this one.
Next question from Kendall Cout with Our Daily Bears.
Scott, want to echo the congratulations. You jumped on Mark's back after you won the Big 12 title. Kind of in that moment, what was sort of the joy you had with Mark to share that experience?
Well, Mark's the only one that's been at Baylor longer than me. So I know he's overcome with emotion, and he's really excited. And I mean, the heart and toughness that he plays with and competes with, and especially since coming back from our pause, seeing what he's done against Iowa State, Kansas tonight. I mean, we get pounded on the glass 48-28 to Kansas. And then tonight we get 13-10 second chance points. We win that battle. And whenever you do that against the Coach Huggins team, you've really accomplished something.
Scott, you're the first outright non-Kansas team to win the Big 12 since 2004. During that run, you all have reinvented yourself quite a bit, whether it's zone, man, big, small, McDonald's All-American, old guys. how have you reinvented kind of this program at various times to achieve
Well, I
that?
think first I've learned from my dad and a Hall of Fame coach, and he always says you got to adapt what you do to your personnel. And then, to be honest, our staff has done a great job putting our players in position to be successful. And then, obviously, if you don't have capable players, you're not winning. But one thing that me personally, I was on Coach Huggins' radio show last night, and I think I've grown a lot over 18 years as a coach, because when you compete against the best night in and night out, and there's been so many Hall of Fame coaches in the Big 12, you really learn a lot. And I've learned a lot from all of them, and so many good ones.
Next question from Matt Roberts of KWKT TV in Waco.
Coach, congratulations. I think last year at this time, you were doing a press conference at West Virginia, and you said it sucks losing 3 games in the Big 12 and finishing second. The emotion now of being back there again and winning that Big 12 title this time around.
Well, after last year's game and they were storming the court and we were back in the locker room, definitely a better feeling tonight. And again, couldn't be more proud of how our guys persevered. I mean, West Virginia's 6th ranked team in the country and hit so many big shots. And if you don't have a heart of a champion, you especially when you're as fatigued as we were, you don't get a road win like this. So couldn't be more proud of our guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Next question from Curtis Quillen of KCEN TV in Waco.
Coach, what was different for you guys from last year, where you walk into that arena so close to being able to do exactly what you did tonight, to being able to do it now? And when did you kind of know this was a possibility, whether this was this season, last season, or the year before?
Well, definitely every year you go into it with the goal of winning a championship. And we've been second and we've been close. But this year, I can tell you that the road teams have won a lot more games in the Big 12, and normally it's one of the toughest teams, one of the toughest conferences to win on the road, and the fans are missed, but it's amazing the 10 or 15 or 25% just what they bring when you're used to empty arenas. But I think the experience that our guys all went through, it just gives you an edge. You come in back to a place like this, and you know you had a bad feeling last year, and you don't want that same feeling. And I mean, if you want to know how much our guys care about winning, I mean, you saw with Mark's emotion. I mean, Jared, I couldn't even find him, and he was behind the bench praying. So thank God those prayers were answered. I told him if he'd stay on the ground, he'd still been in the game, and he could have had a better seat, you know.
Final question for Coach Drew from Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated.
Coach, with going down the stretch and in overtime, team making shot after shot, both sides, such a roller coaster of emotions. I was wondering if you could take me through specifically when Jared Butler got the game tying bucket to send it into overtime, and then threw the inbounds pass out of bounds. I was wondering what was going through your head during that time.
Well, he had Wheaties for breakfast, so he tells me he's a great quarterback, and he threw it just out of the end zone. So, but anyway, in all seriousness, I've lost a game like that when we lost to Kansas State, and the one thing we wanted to do was make sure that we gave Matt a chance, and credit West Virginia's defense and us not getting that. And I know that was one play that it can take out the emotion because they get the ball and you're like, they got a chance to win, but credit our guys right away in stopping them and taking it to overtime. And then I think one of the most important things when you get to overtime is make sure you're positive and upbeat. And I didn't have to do anything. It's a player-led team. Those guys were ready to go, and they were excited for the OT. And obviously, Matt Mayer was on fire.
Yeah, I think that game was 8 years ago to the day. And real quick, in overtime.
Well, if you'd have told me that, I definitely wouldn't have run that play.
in overtime, real quick, West Virginia got a steal and then turned it over out of bounds right in front of the bench, and then you ran that play for Jared to curl around to the corner for a three. What made you call that play at that particular moment?
It's just something we had and we hadn't used it, and we were looking for something different, and Jared made a great shot, and that makes plays work.
Sure. Thanks, Coach. Congrats again.
All right, everybody, that's all we got. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate all you've done. Enjoy the night.
Thanks, Scott.
Congrats, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
I'll let you know when we're
You
going to have
too.
our next availability.
See you next week.
Don't think we'll be able to do another availability before Thursday's game, but I will let you know if we do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
CK.